Nothing. Let's go.
Diving. 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 Diving.
He's not a man. There's nothing more to say.
Diving.
Yeah. What up, old school players and new school fools? Episode 8, Diving for Glory. I'm your horse, Corsiola, Pep. I'll take my glory to go, man. Waiter, bring that check. Sir Solomon, what up?
Nothing. You just called yourself a horse.
Really? Did I?
He said, I'm your horse, Corsiola.
Well, I am your horse. I'm your horse this episode, son. I'm about to go to the finish line, man. This week, man, we'll be diving into what's wrong with Real Madrid, surprising Inter Milan, and how Monaco is doing it again after having sold most of their team this summer. Man, shoes are laced, jersey tucked, hair dyed, shaved, and blasted with tons of product. Ready to ball, man. Let's go.
Yep.
All right. Back four. We're going to start with the games of the weekend. We're going to start it off with Liverpool versus Leicester City. Sir Solomon.
Yep. The rematch. The best thing in sports is a rematch, they say. This is not that, but over the course of the midweek, Shinji Okazaki and Islam Slimani, just in case you had a doubt of what he likes, he's had it twice. Anyways, in midweek they had between 2 goals from them, beat Liverpool 2-0 out of the Carabao Cup or whatever the fuck it's called. So they knocked them out of that. Liverpool had 70% possession in that game. Took 21 shots to hit the target 3 times and not score anything, whereas Leicester in that game had 8 shots, 5 on target, and 2 goals. So what we're trying to see at the beginning of this game is, does Liverpool turn it around? Do they get their shit in order?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the stats were similar for this game.
Yes, similar. The answer to they get their shit together is somewhat. They shot like a motherfucker. They took another 25 shots with 6 on target to score 3 goals. Better, but still, like, you can't have 8 shots per goal. That's not a good ratio. Leicester had 12 shots with 7 on target, with which they scored 2 goals and had a third penalty saved. You know.
Yep. And
you can't have every opponent that you play be more efficient than you. You know. Their defense is their defense as always. Coutinho made his first league star. Not his first league start. His first league star.
9.6 on who
scored,
man.
A goal and an assist, and the usual 5 shots with 2 on target.
Yep. Sick set piece goal, man. The second goal was so sick. Even the assist was nice for give me some Mo Salah.
Yeah, they did good, but like if you look at it, Phil 5 shots, 2 on target. Mo 4 shots, 1 on target. Bobby Firmino 3 shots, none on target. And then you look at Jamie Vardy, he had 5 shots, 4 on target, 1 goal and 1 goal saved, you know, like.
But
that's good when they get it together, but it's getting to the point of the season where they do need to, because they went up 2-0, let Okazaki hit them again in injury time of the first half to make it 2-1. Like, that's a game that they were looking like they should just shut down, and that Okazaki goal opened everything up, changed the second half, which they stepped up again. And Jordan Henderson, who I don't know what the fuck his position is, but he's doing his thing. He scores, but immediately they let Vardy score and then give up a penalty, which Mignolet saved because Vardy was not very gully, man.
Man, he tried to go with straight power. I mean, it was still a good save, and for Mignolet to have made 2 bonehead plays and come back and save the game, man, I know he has to feel good about that. Filet Mignolet.
Definitely. I think he gets a bad rap, too, because, like, what is any goalkeeper going to do when you get just exposed as much as those goalkeepers at Liverpool do? Like, you can't go balls to the wall all the fucking time, man.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I've never even considered that about him, because I just consider him like a slightly above average keeper.
That's the thing. When you talk about Liverpool's defense and their keeper, you have to look at the game plan, and it's like, get the ball and run. Okay, so how are we going to cover everything? Well, like, we're just going to take more shots than them. Like,
Nah.
they have no defensive plan. Like, their defense is very
And to that point,
elementary.
I'm sorry, what'd you say? It was
So
very
their
what?
defense is very elementary.
Oh, definitely. And to that, man, I saw the most interesting numbers this week when they, out of his first, I think, 74 or 76 games between him and Brendan Rodgers, Klopp has 6 less points, conceded more goals. I mean, it hasn't been an improvement.
He has one less Suarez.
I mean, that's true. He only has Suarez for one of those years or 2 of those years?
2, I think.
2 of them. It's true. So one player means that much?
No, I think that they were in a deeper problem when he got here, and he's turned around a lot. Like, whatever the points are, he's getting points in a tougher league than when a few years back. So I get it, but like, a lot of people don't understand how deep their issues are. Like, this is a club who was so successful and yet is still somewhat a pseudo big club in terms of they have the history, but with where they're located and kind of finances they have available, they're kind of one of the better second tier clubs. And yet expectations there is like they're
An upper
still
tier.
Liverpool with John Barnes and Ian Rush, you know?
Yeah.
So they got this coach. This coach is like, I don't know if you remember, but like when Kevin Keegan used to coach, all his games are like 4-2, 4-3, 5-4, no defense, and some of the most fun football you're gonna see. But it needs to grow up. It needs to mature a little bit if he wants to lift some cups. You can't give up this many goals all the time. When you leave the games late without killing them, more tackles fly in. You tire your guys. Your guys get more yellows. Like,
Yep.
this is not how you should chase it. Like, they're expending too much energy in every single game. Back in the day, they used to put it away and then just like put your foot off the gas once you get a 3-0 or 4-0. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, let's go ahead and move on to another second level, let's say big team or whatnot. Tottenham West Ham. This is the so-called away game, right? This is at Wembley. No matter what, no matter who's home team.
No.
West Ham finally has a stadium.
Yeah, London Stadium.
That's how much I don't even pay attention.
The Olympic Stadium. That's where they are.
Okay.
And yeah, they're both nomadic currently, but West Ham had a game plan. Could have tried to do the game plan a little bit, but once Mikel Antonio had to get subbed off for Andy Carroll, I saw this tweet.
Yep.
This person said, Andy Carroll, I always wonder why I don't see him, and then he plays, and then I understand why I don't see him. Like, as soon as he came in, they changed all like their game to being a crossing game because they have Andy Carroll on.
That's it.
But he's not your star. Like, their star is Chicharito, and I get it. Like, they wanted to cross it to Andy Carroll and you knock it down and whatever, but like, he's not the person you thought he was. Like, you can't change your game plan to accommodate the person that's been injured for the last.
He's definitely not a Peter Crouch. I know that.
Oh, definitely. Doesn't have the sense of humor either.
No.
When asked what he would be if he wasn't a footballer, Peter Crouch said, a virgin.
Oh man, there's some places to go with that one. Kane with 2 goals.
Great Instagram follow, by the way.
Who? Crouch.
Crouchy.
Yep. So Kane with 2 goals, man of the match. He showed out again. Typical, steady.
Yes.
Harry Kane. Dele Alli had a solid game for probably the first time this year. Beautiful cross. Aurier saw red, and that was the moment when I was like, okay, so even after you're up, even after West Ham was up a man, they just could not build anything. It was just cross.
Yes, I was going to cut you off because I was so excited to give you props for your special last week about Harry Kane. It was almost like you timed it. Like, and they're like, oh, watch this, listen to my show, and go.
Well, when he does it every week, man, the timing is going to be perfect at some point.
Yeah, he does a lot of scoring for somebody that's not in the top 5 yet.
He does. It's true. But anyway.
Dele Alli, Eriksen, and Harry Kane showed out. And like when the 3 of them are on and playing, that's Tottenham's best possible lineup offensively. Eriksen, dude, Last year, he had 12 goals and 23 assists. Unheard of. 23 assists is next level, like Kevin De Bruyne, Ozil. But this guy also tracks back and covers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
In this game, he had, one goal, one key pass, 2 shots. He's already had 2 goals and 3 assists in this season.
Yeah, the elf. The elf, man.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
He's nice.
Like, with his service, and Dele Alli's, like, playing the role of their Lampard, kind of. He comes in late, picks up whatever happens, and scores from there. Like, they're built well. I still think that they need a little more creativity.
They do.
And depth, but check this out. Davinson Sanchez, Jan Vertonghen, Ben Davis, and Toby Alderweireld each won at least 3 aerial duels, with Vertonghen leading the way with 6. West Ham's game plan was to cross the ball.
Yeah. Come on, son.
Tottenham was like, get
Wrong
the
team,
fuck
bro.
out
Wrong
of here.
team, man.
Have you seen these giants? And I didn't even, oh my God. You didn't even get into, like, the midfield. These are just different.
Yeah, Wanyama, I don't know if he played, though. I don't think he played. But still, another huge guy, man.
And then Aurier is one of the most exciting guys you're gonna see, because like he's raw, and when I say he's raw, I don't mean football wise. I mean brain development wise.
He might break a leg out there, dude, which he almost did.
Oh yeah, he's gone out there to do damage of one sort or another. Like when he was in France and he did the Periscope video insulting like Laurent Blanc, who was at the time his coach, Ibra, who insinuated to had some issues. Like, this guy is nuts. He's an excellent right back, but sometimes the best ability is availability, so you can't get sent off, Holmes.
Yes, seriously. Game actually came down to Andy Carroll getting shoved in the back on a cross, which did not get called. 3-2 Tottenham wins. West Ham could not pull the point, even though they probably even deserved that point. But oh well. Let's go ahead,
Somebody
man.
comes into your house and takes 15 shots to your 10, you don't deserve nothing.
Yeah, well. West Ham,
they did
dude.
good. They turned it around, but it was 3-0 down before they started playing football. And Aurier had to fucking leave the game for them to really put the pressure on. It was like they started after the game was done. West Ham, I'm sorry, I'm going hard on them because like they've really disappointed me this season. Like none of their moves and what they're accomplishing go hand in hand. Like what they're trying to be and what they're doing don't match. The owners don't believe in firing coaches, but they do believe in undermining them publicly all the fucking time. And they buy flash players when they need different positional players. Like it's a mess.
Sure looks like that, man. I think they have 4 points.
I don't know how they got those.
4 points out of 6 games.
I don't know how. Like I'm more surprised that they have 4 points.
That's how they've been looking this year. Man, let's move on. Let's get out of there. Let's fuck West Ham, dude.
Disgusting, man.
No more time. Let's move on to Spain, man. Let's talk about Atletico. We're going to talk about a couple games again because they had a midweek game as well. They beat Athletic Bilbao 2-1, and then they beat Sevilla 2-0.
Yes, in the midweek they went to Athletic Bilbao, and San Mamés is one of the legendary, most volatile places to go play in Spain. It is in the heart of the Basque region. Athletic Bilbao is the team that refuses to sign a player who doesn't either have Basque blood or is born in the Basque area. And the kind of patriotism and nationalism that accompanies the Athletic Bilbao movement makes like Barca and Catalonia's situation look like like a cute situation.
That would be amazing. Imagine if something like that happened in American sports. They're like, yeah, we're only gonna have players from Detroit. If you
basically,
if you
ain't from
Michigan,
nah,
we ain't fucking with you.
Here we got Brigham Young telling you we only take people that don't like to have sex.
Right.
Anyways, back to football. From blue balls to footballs.
Terrible, son. Tell us about Atletico. They also walked in and beat up on Sevilla.
No, like they on Athletic Bilbao, Angel Correa from a Koke assist and Yannick Carrasco from a Tony G assist put away the game. their midfielders are just, when they're ticking, it's just a beautiful sight to behold. Like, they don't want possession. What they want is to push you into areas of the field where whoever has the ball is more and more isolated, and then they invade you. And instead of like a Klopp gegenpressing, trying to get a shot as soon as possible, the idea is to just pass it around and dribble, not too long, but like to create a very large number of shooting chances. So every time they get the ball, they're looking to make a move, like to create a goal-scoring opportunity. Not just to take shots from wherever, but like through passes are huge. They make the runs. The guys behind the striker are whizzing about. And Antoine Griezmann at the middle of all that is the conduttore.
I also think in both those games they did not have possession, so they're creating all these chances on less possession. To your point
they're not as interested in possession.
Yep.
But Gabi, Koke, Saul, and Carrasco are just supreme talents who Diego Simeone is directing perfectly. When they play defense, they hassle you, they're working, but as soon as they get the ball, they turn into the artists that they're supposed to be, and that is the balance in football that's intriguing, and they're executing it right now perfectly.
Man, if they could only just like beat their big brothers, man.
Yeah. And this very week, during a transfer ban, they made a transfer signing to be delivered in January.
Yep.
Diego Costa, the elephant man.
The elephant man. The Acosta is what I like to call him, man.
Like Chelsea are like, Diego who?
Done. Peace. Griezmann was clinical, man, with 8.4 against Bilbao and a 7.9 with Sevilla. Carrasco, man, that dude, he's nice too, man.
Yannick Carrasco is quickly becoming one of my favorite midfielders to watch.
Dude, his goal was sick, dude. He beasted that dude off the ball and then one touched around the goalie.
Back-to-back games where he's scored really beautiful goals. He always scores from Tony G too. Both goals are Griezmann assists. Angel Correa is a baller. Koke and Gabi's getting older, but like that dude. And then you talk about like the defense, like there's still G's up in there.
It's true. They
not even mentioning Jan Oblak, who might currently be a top 3 goalkeeper in Europe. He is shutting shit down.
So let me ask you this about them. Do you think, I think we talked about it earlier, but are you feeling differently? Do you think, especially with Elise Costa arriving and adding depth in January, like, are they going to be able to compete for La Liga? Are they going to be right there?
Yeah, sure. They're going to be right there. I don't think they're going to win La Liga.
Better chance at the Champions League?
Huh?
Better chance at the Champions League.
As long as they don't play Big Brother.
Man.
That's the only problem they've had. They lost 2 finals to Real Madrid, one in overtime game that they were leading in the 90th minute, and that I don't want to even talk about this, man.
Yeah. Sorry, Diego. Sorry, homie.
World Cup, Athletic Bilbao.
We didn't mean to.
Atletico Madrid. Athletic Bilbao.
You're done.
Has already been slew.
All right, man. Let's move on one more time, man. To
Coming
Bavaria.
Soon, Double Diego.
We're gonna move on to Bavaria. Talk about another huge team struggling. We'll talk about a huge team that's been struggling a bit, sitting third in the table right now in Bundesliga. Bayern Munich tied Wolfsburg 2-2 after being up 2-0.
Yeah, they literally gave it away. Like they had it looked like one of the customary Bayern Munich steamroll out, but they decided no, they're like the midweek game that they played, like Tolisso, James Rodriguez, all these cats were playing really good, and then they did a rotation. The starting wingers were Robben and Ribery, and then Thomas Muller. Like it was the stale old team that was like they put out the 2014 team.
Yep.
And Wolfsburg right now has, what's called NMS, new manager syndrome.
Yes.
And those are the trickiest ties to play. And Bayern Munich has got a little, it looks like we talk about their problems, but it just seems like their problem is like gluttony, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're just a little spoiled. They need to be back against the wall, like for them to wake up. Everybody's going after herself, like. Even Carlo Ancelotti is sounding like he's a pundit now. Like, you talk to him and he's like, yeah, the way Verratti used Barcelona rumors to renegotiate his contract was very unbecoming. I don't like that kind of... I'm like, dude, you just fucking getting shitted on out here. Like, don't worry about somebody else's contract.
Stick to the game, dude. Because the other thing about their 2 goals was it was off a penalty and it was off, like, basically a Robin deflection. So it's not like they were just out there, you know, even clinical to begin with. And then...
so think of it this way. 19 shots with only 3 on target, and one of them being that bullshit deflection you talked about.
Yep.
Only 6 successful dribbles to Wolfsburg's 7. Like, and Wolfsburg is not like one of those teams that you're like, oh, wow, like they got them. Like, they sold their best players in the summer. They're a shit team. They fired their coach. He got. Like, this was...
Yep.
Ancelotti needs to step it up and tell his guys to do some fucking shit, because this is embarrassing.
And the Nur situation proved to be an issue with the very first goal that they gave up. Second goal given up by Ruud Boateng.
Yes.
Typical D by him, man. You're right. They haven't refreshed the team that well, man.
Boateng has been dead to me since Messi dropped him. So
dropped him. Done. I'm about to drop that topic.
On to the next.
On to the midfield we go. All right, man. We're going to talk about another big team that's struggling, actually. I want to talk about Real Madrid.
The artist formerly known as Raul Madrid.
Raul, now they are 7 points back in La Liga after 6 games. And that,
where they deserve to be.
Man, I love to see them there. But that's a huge gap in La Liga. How did we get here, Sir Solomon?
They don't like to play at home.
So many boos and so many whistles.
They've got 2 ties and a loss at home already. And in the midweek, Betis came, scored an injury time winner in a game that they took 27 shots and couldn't score. Your boy Ronnie. Your boy
Ronnie Devout.
Not Shy Ronnie, but the other Ronnie. Had 12 shots for 2 on target in midweek. And then in the weekend, he had 6 for 1 on target. Both no goals. The team... You have to shift your formation when you get Ronaldo back. And like you're playing with Isco and... what was the little kid? Asensio? And all of them, and like they shifted it apart. Like Bale hasn't looked that good since he came back. He had that beautiful goal that we gave him an award for last week, but and now he comes in. Benzema hasn't looked that special. Ronaldo's just shooting on sight.
Yep.
Like he's like the scared person that somebody gave a gun to and just finishes bullets in 2 seconds. That guy.
And also another team that their problems are about to be compounded by an injury problem. Marcelo out for a minute.
Yes.
For a minute.
One of the few Real Madrid players that I really like, actually.
Yeah, probably one of the best right backs in the world.
He plays on the left.
I know that. I wanted to see if you knew.
But I would still be confident in him to play right back over a lot of right backs that are currently getting paid.
It's true.
But the weekend game that they beat Alaves 2-1, summer signing Dani Ceballos scored both goals, 9.21 on the who scored rating. Mm-hmm. You saw him in the summer playing for the Spain under 21s and stuff. Like, this kid is really nice. Him and Theo Hernandez that they signed have not been getting... Like, we've been so busy congratulating Asensio and Isco that...
Forget about that.
Yeah, these guys are so big-time players that could have... Like, Barca was trying to sign him, but Barca's run by monkeys, so he decided he'd rather go to the place that's run by, like, half intelligent humans.
So will they obviously have enough to turn it around. Yeah. 7 points is still a huge gap, and it's worth monitoring. Real Madrid does not play that shit, Zidane. They will fire you. They do not care, dude. Like,
well, it depends on what happens in the Champions League. But right now, Zidane ticks exactly the boxes Fiorentino Perez looks for in a president. Like, this is why Del Bosque, or whatever the fuck that guy's name is, used to work so well, is because he wants somebody to manage the egos. And like, if you look at their formations and stuff, it's somewhat rudimentary, but like, they just put really good players in really good positions, and he figures out how to get them ready to play. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep. How to properly motivate.
So, yeah, if they lose a lot, then he's obviously not motivating them, so they'll get rid of him. But, like, who are you going to get? They've used most of the big coaches out there. This guy is very low-key. He lets the president do presidential shit, like talk all the fucking time. And he just does his job. He's loved by the players, loved by the fans. Like, if you get rid of Zidane, like, especially after he won two Champions Leagues, like, I don't know. Some shit gonna happen to you. I hope they fire him.
Yes, and I hope they fire him because they lost La Liga and Champions League. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
It would be great. All right, enough with the Real bashing for the moment, man. We're gonna move on over to Italy and talk about a little surprise out there. Some team doing much better than we thought they might have been doing, and that is Inter Milan, sitting there with a 5-1-0 record. And even then, they're still in third place because Napoli is getting it in with Juventus as well. But tell us.
Don't you love the Italian league? Is turned it around. There's a lot of teams doing good. Yeah. Like, the results are, not as predictable. It's awesome. We're gonna talk about Internazionale de Milan. The Internazionale means that they're owned by Chinese and Malaysian people.
They just added that on. When did that buyout occur? That's been within the last couple years.
6th June of 2016, Suning Holding Group buys the controlling stake. Their chairman is Zhang Jindong. Okay. And I want a Chinese person to buy every team so I could just read their company names and stuff. Yeah, like, they got bought by a dong, dude.
Inter.
It gets approved in 28th June of 2016. Now, Suning Group is like one of the biggest like retailers in China. They own 68% of the club. 31% is owned by International Sports Capital, which is an Indonesian holding company. Eric Thohir, who they actually bought their controlling interest, is the chairman of International Sports Capital, and he's a majority owner of Inter Milan. I mean, a minority owner and chairman of Inter Milan. And you know what else he's a co-owner of?
What?
DC United.
What? Oh shit! Oh shit!
He used to be the 70% owner. He's the one that bought it from the Agnelli family. I don't know if that is.
And this is sounds like a very similar situation to AC Milan.
Yeah, it's somewhat similar. Valued less. They haven't bought as. I like what AC Milan did. Inter. Like, we're discussing them because they're in the middle of a transformation, but like the AC Milan one is very much a revolution because they're pressed for time, so they're making moves. And yeah, some games they're gonna get the tops blown off, but like they're going in the right direction. Inter has done very subtle things, and they brought in a really good coach that knows how to coach in Italy, and Luciano Spalletti, and he's papered over a lot of cracks.
Gangster ass name, dude.
Oh yeah. That's a gangsta ass man.
Lucky spaghetti, son. Go ahead.
Like, he's shaped them up nicely, but it looks like they've got a lot of band-aids and broken shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're towards the top, ahead of even AC Milan, but I think AC Milan is further in their project than they are. They are overly dependent on Perisic for creativity.
Yep.
And Mauro Icardi for goals.
Yep.
Like, this is a very limited group. This is like when Cesc Fabregas and Robin Van Persie were playing together at Arsenal, surrounded by a bunch of, they might be good players.
So, do you think that? So, are you of the thought then that this is not a fluke, but that they're just off to a fast start? They're not really going to be able to maintain this.
Yeah, they're off to a fast start. I think they'll maintain it, and like the coach is really good, so they, you'll pick up those little games that could have been a toss-up, whatever. They'll get them, but I don't think they have enough talent. Their midfield, especially in the holding positions, is not really impressive. Their defenders suck. Their right backs, their left, this is a very imbalanced team, and it's basically give it to Perisic, who has 3 goals and 3 assists, and he will either shoot or find a way to get it to Mauro Icardi, who has 6 goals, and that's about it. But how they started, they have 13 out of 15 points. Like you said, they're third place, but I think they're going in the opposite direction. It's still good because they weren't even what did they finish? Like, they weren't even a European team,
Mm-hmm.
So they're improving, but it's not as dramatic or as exciting as AC Milan's move.
Absolutely. No, it doesn't feel that way either. It's cool to see a traditional team up there, though, but I didn't get the feeling that they were going to be able to maintain this either.
Yes. If you remember a couple of weeks ago, the man Frank de Boer got fired from Crystal Palace.
Mm-hmm.
He got fired from Inter, too, last year.
Did he?
Yes, he had 11 games. He won a whopping 4 of them with 2 draws and 5 losses.
And they brought
the
Mancini.
Squad... No. He inherited from Mancini, who walked out right before the beginning of the season. They got him to replace him. And he was completely exposed. And now he's been so exposed that even Crystal Palace fired him.
5 games in, Crystal Palace fired him. Crystal Palace hasn't scored a goal this year. At all. I love that stat. Terrible, man.
There's a striker, a Belgian striker called Christian Benteke. He doesn't score.
Not yet. All right, let's move on from Milan. I love saying that shit. Milan.
Milano.
We're just gonna move. Damn, it's not even that far apart. Move to the west a bit and head to Monaco.
Yes, I have lost my European compass. I don't know where we are going, but Monaco, another team who I'm kind of like to know who owns the teams, because they're paying so much money that it interests me. So this guy is called Dmitry Ribolovlev.
Well, he's Russian, right?
A Russian cardiologist who made his money in fertilizers.
This is bullshit. That is not real. Is that real?
Yes, hold on. It gets realer. He shared his shares in the fertilizer company when it became the biggest in Russia for 6.5 billion euros.
Damn, because there's probably no usable land, so you got to fertilize the fuck out of it.
You're gonna run out of dams because this dude served 11 months in a Russian prison on a charge of murdering his partner, son.
Hold up. I thought that was isn't that required by state law? Isn't that serving in your national forces in Russia?
He was released after the quote-unquote killers were caught by the police. They were caught by Hercule Poirot and Sherlock Holmes themselves.
Wow, dude.
So he bought him in 2014. About 2011. And by 2014, what the first move they did was they bought. They got Falcao. Falcao is 70 something. James Rodriguez, Moutinho, João. I'm sorry. Portuguesa.
Mm-hmm.
And they put out a show. I think they were doing good. And that one World Cup, he injured himself in the league, right? Falcao did.
Falcao, yep. Right at the end of the year, yep.
After that, they realized that with financial fair play being implemented and stuff, they can't just go balls to the wall, but they still have a huge advantage, which is that whatever they pay you, there's no taxes to be paid, income tax in Monaco,
Yep.
So what they do is they buy younger, higher profile players, or guys that haven't been heard of, but guys with the upside, and they just let them ball. They put them in, Jardim, the coach, Leandro Jardim, is doing really, really good. He developed people last year, a team that was centered around Tiemu Bakayoko, Thomas Lamar, Ben Mendy, pod favorites Ben Mendy,
Yep.
Falcao himself, Mbappe, Bernardo Silva, and Fabinho won the league by 8 points and 107 goals scored. Like, the 107 goals scored part, that's a La Liga kind of stats.
Yeah,
The French league is all consistently one of the lowest scoring leagues in the Europe.
Champions League semifinals.
And the Champions League semifinals. They unloaded most of these guys. Bakayoko's gone, Mendy's gone. Falcao's still here, but like
Silva's gone. Mbappe's gone.
Mbappe's gone. Lamar might be gone in January. They don't care though. They went out, they get Keita Balde, Yuri Tillemans, young upcoming cat who's supposed to be really, really, really good. Watch this guy, dude. Yuri Tillemans. And Stefan Jovetic. I've always been a fan of Stefan Jovetic. He's a bit of a gypsy. He goes everywhere, but everywhere he goes, he plays nice.
Scores, yep.
Yep, introduced himself back in the early 2000s by knocking Liverpool out of the Champions League when he was playing for Fiorentina with a 2-goal outburst. Big shout, Scousers. Stefan Jovetic.
Let me ask you then, why do not more teams adopt this philosophy? Instead of just going out and buying the biggest players every year, I mean...
It's difficult to do. Like, they're adopting this policy as a team that actually has money, so... And the league is very winnable. There's only like one other team that they're contending with. Like, the factors are many, you know? Like, there are players that, say, Rangers or Celtic could sign that a much bigger English team wouldn't be able to sign because Celtic and Rangers are guaranteed Champions League football. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So they promise they're going to give you exposure and they're going to give you an opportunity to leave whenever you want. But that kind of volatility is very difficult to manage. That's why we got to give them their respect. Why don't everybody do it? Because it's fucking hard.
Yeah, Dortmund's another team similar, in the similar mold, yes?
Yeah, and both of them have really invested in their academies and in their scouting. And if you want to do this, that's the thing. And scouting and academies are not expensive, and are not cheap, and also are not very glamorous. So a lot of teams, you know, when you go out and buy a Morata or a Lukaku or something, like what you call the statement buys, that affects how you build the rest of your club. Like, these guys bought their statement buys early, whatever, but like now they don't do that. They just get guys that plug in and play in the position, and you have to put your ego to the side for however long you're there. Some of them didn't even shine that much while they were there and are getting sold based on the potential just because they've been seen so much, you know? And promising exposure is big. That's what Arsenal used to do back in the day. Now it's left because that's all you can promise, you know? Like, yep. in France, you can legitimately say you'll go far in the Champions League. You'll have a potential to win the league. A lot of people will see you, and you're making tax-free euros. That's a
tax-free dollars.
That's a stacked deck, homie. Like, you just walk in and just like dick slap, motherfucker.
And you live in Monaco. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm on the Mediterranean, right? That's
Rivera.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt. All right, man.
Shit, like, don't worry about income tax. We'll tax you in the casinos.
We got you.
Don't worry.
You're gonna get house always wins, baby.
Yeah.
House always wins, man. Respect to Monaco, though. We're gonna move on. Get to our forward section here. All right, first forward, we're gonna do awards. Dude of the week. Who's that, man? Who that be?
The guy that made Chelsea forget about Romelu Lukaku and Diego Costa. Is Alvaro
Morata. He's been crushing it, though.
Another, see, they had to change his song too because it says he hates the fucking Yids. You know?
Oh, wow.
Alvaro Morata. Yeah, he comes from Madrid. He hates the fucking Yids. And then, like, now it's like, why would you say such a thing? It's so wrong. And people cried, so. But he still scored. He scored a fucking hat trick. He's Alvaro Morata. Know the name. He looks like a church boy.
Nice
he
goals.
He fucking stabs you in your heart, though.
Yeah, nice goals, man.
Clean player, man. Such a, like, his touch is beautiful. He heads right foot, left. Like, they made a good purchase there. Diego Costa, you will not be missed.
Nope.
Your antics maybe, but your football has been replaced by a much, much greater product.
Yep. Definitely was skeptical about this transition. We're only 6 games in, but it looks to be like a successful one so far. Dude of the week, Alvaro Morata. Moving on to Twata, the Twat happened moment of the week.
From more Twata to the Twata.
Yeah. Award winner is
the person who's unsurprising in his surprisingness. Serge Aurier.
The Surge. Just call dude the
Serge. You remember Serge from Beverly Hills Cop? Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot.
Yeah, man. What does he get this for?
For getting a second yellow that should have been a straight red. For playing murder ball.
Yeah, it was bad, dude. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was real bad. Yeah. So
he plays it like how on the whole 9 Yards movie with Adam Sandler, where Michael Irvin challenges him to a basketball game and just drags him all over the place in the prison. That's the kind of football that this guy plays. Plays like you're in a prison. He will either shut you down, break your legs, or get sent off. Usually, get sent off.
Get sent off. Twat happened moment of the week. Serge Aurier. Final, man, we got new additions to the All Salon squad. Boop, boop. The stable boy Wesley, Dread Pirate Roberts from Princess Bride, also known as Antoine Griezmann, went extra blonde.
Tony G is looking like Tita G.
For real, son. Like,
have you noticed he even runs with a little jump so that his little hair can do the bobbing movement?
With a little flip on it. What? Hey, man, All Salon winner. Aurier, man, he's gonna get 2 awards this week, man, because I used to love Kwame when I first heard him. Like, not many people bust out the polka
Big
dots,
shot,
man.
old school Kwame.
The polka dots, son. The polka dots. Your life is played out like Aurier and the fucking polka dots. Anyway, man. Yeah, All Salon. Quick, we're going to move on to the forwards. We're going to move on to the second forward section, the games.
You call this what a chant?
The games is the last section. No, our chant.
Yes. I'm sorry. I completely
preempted. It's cool. Let's go. This is a better one anyway.
So, United fans sing songs about Park, wherever you may be. They eat dogs in your country. You could be worse. You could be a scouse. All this, right? And then nobody said it. Okay, the Korean guy song, it's whatever, right?
Yep. But
don't tell a black man he has a big penis. Then all groups come out to talk to you. Romelu Lukaku.
Hold up.
Is our Belgian scoring genius. Bellens on his toes.
Oh, Romelu.
So what cracked me up is like everybody focused on the 24-inch penis part because it implies some stereotypical things about black men and their whatever. But the thing that they didn't notice was that at the end of the song they say Bellens on his toes, which is the best part of the song because that is his first touch. Is like if somebody shoved the ball with a dick. But they had to focus on the 24-inch penis part. So now they've had to rescind the song due to racial undertones. And the new song is?
Do it.
Romelu Lukaku. He's our Belgian scoring genius. We can't sing about his penis because we're politically correct. He's offsides when he's erect. Take that, F.A.
Man, I mean, some of the chants we found when we were looking around, like, come on, man.
Check out Sol Campbell chants if you guys want to check out this kind of stuff and go down rabbit holes.
Jason Punchin.
He went for a shit. He went for a shit. Jason Punchin. He went for a shit. There's various things like that has happened.
I'm gonna on-air brainstorm and say that, you know what I'm saying, finding a pretty cool chant might be a regular going forward.
Yes, we are actually. I'm very excited about that. This is going to be our little Will Grigg section.
Yeah, Will Grigg.
Between Will Grigg and James McLean, we are completely enamored with the chant movement. So, guys, be prepared to listen to more of them. Some, if they're clear, we'll just play them. If not, we'll read you out what the chants are.
Can we just one more real quick?
Oh, Spice is a slapper. She's got a smelly gas.
And then she
when she's shagging back.
She thinks of Carolina. That is the classic Man City Posh Spice is a slapper chant.
Oh my god, this is great. Whatever, or even the
You remember the Slippy G?
Slippy G.
You know what I'm saying? But and anybody out there, tweet at us. I am at Faroda Salaman, at Diving for Glory FOR, and give us chants that we haven't mentioned. Request whatever you want. This show is for you.
Hold up. Yeah.
Told you this show is for you, people.
Yeah. All right, man. Last section. We go to wrap up. All right, we got some pretty good games this week. Champions League. By the time this posts, Real Madrid Dortmund will be over. But also we're in Champions League. We got Chelsea Atletico. Boop. We got PSG Bayern, and then always to mention Barca Sporting Lisbon. Yeah, PSG Bayern, Chelsea Atletico is pretty sweet.
Wow. Yeah, that's you know what Arsene Wenger said? He said the Champions League is a little more boring in the group stages this year because Arsenal didn't make it. And I was like, he said this on a week that PSG is playing Bayern Munich and Real Madrid is playing Dortmund.
Yeah.
Did you see the Instagram video of actually another twat happened moment? I'm sorry to go off base, but Neymar posted an Instagram picture of him chilling with his son during the PSG game, which they tied because he was not over there. And in the background is the Barca game. Neymar was at home watching the Barca game.
Watching the Barca game. Wow, dude. That's priceless. That's priceless. This dude has become a troll. Ever since he left.
He was such a quiet guy.
Ooh, man. All right, man. Also, man, Chelsea got a big week, man. After Atletico, they're going to wake up Saturday morning, or at least I'm going to wake up Saturday morning and watch Chelsea play City at Stamford Bridge.
That is the current, the premier matchup in different leagues, like not in Spain, but in different leagues. It rotates based on how good they are.
Yep.
And right now, Chelsea, Man City, if that doesn't excite you, and it's just, football is not for you.
It's just not for you, man.
just go to crochet or some shit.
Super hyped for that game, man. It'll be fascinating to see what Conte's plans are. He's playing a different City team than he played last year. So at Stamford Bridge, by the way, Barca has Las Palmas, and Real plays the other Barcelona team, Espanyol.
I look for both of those to be runaways.
Let's hope Espanyol runs away with that. Serie A, AC Milan versus Roma.
Oh,
the battle for fourth place, or third or fourth.
I think AC Milan is going to be part of. It's going to be closer to Napoli than Roma. Roma, sold too many key players.
Okay.
But early in the season, I think Roma might beat them because they're better right now because they have more players that play together longer. But longer term, AC Milan is on the up and Roma has stagnated. They're yesterday's news. Yeah. They're a team that's always yesterday's news.
And they Totti retired this year, right? It's their first year without him, right?
That's the Inter coach Spalletti who got blamed for causing Totti to retire at 41.
At 41, that's right. I wanted so bad to mention the fact that Nice played Anger.
And then they tied.
They didn't tie. Of course they tied.
Straight face.
But Nice Marseille in Ligue 1. That looks like about the best game they got going on this week. Balotelli balling.
Oh, Balotelli, yes, he scored a goal from the spot.
Yeah. He's been playing solid, man.
They've been on that thing. I respect what he's doing, but he's always going to be the disappointment, man.
Always, man. Always. Hey, man, he has an EPL title under his belt. Maybe he keep... No, never mind.
He assisted or hockey assisted on the
Yes, he did.
title-winning goal.
Yes, he did.
So
Yes, he did. Like, he
he's
played a
already-
role. Like, he
yeah.
played a role, yep. Man, that's it, man. This is your final outcome right there, man. D4G 8, competition nil.
Ah, yes.
Until next week, man. Remember, Diving for Glory posts every Tuesday. Download on iTunes. Follow us on Twitter at Diving for Glory, FOR, hashtag D4G. That's the number 4.
Subscribe, comment, ask any questions, make any requests. We are here for you.
Yeah, man. Like us on Facebook. Tag us on Twitter. Once again, Pep Corsiola, Sir Solomon.
We out.
Diving. 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 Diving.
Yes, Big Mac. No wonder he's in the fucking reserves.
Diving. Diving.
He's not a man. There's nothing more to say.
Diving.